how can you tell when somebody is actually avoidant, or maybe they're just not that into you? I know a lot of people do end up finding out about avoidance and attachment styles on their desperate hunt to understand what happened. And sometimes when somebody pulls away or they're not investing in the relationship, the case is that it's just not a match and they're not actually that into you, right? And that feels bad, sounds bad, but actually the case is it's simply not an aligned match for you or for them. Because at the end of the day, if they're not choosing you, then it's not right for you either. And it doesn't mean anything about your worth or your value. But understanding if somebody is avoidant can help you to make sense of who they are and where they're at in their life. And again, stop you taking it so personally. Either way, this isn't really personal. I know it feels personal, but in this video, we're going to unpack the difference between the two. And it's actually quite a clear difference. So before I get into this video, I'd like to remind you I've got 30% discount at the moment on my one-to-one coaching because it's coming off my website, and you'll only be able to get one-to-one coaching through joining the Heartbreak Healers Club from September. So I thought I'd give you a window of opportunity to book a package so that we can dive into whatever you need support with, so that I can walk with you on this journey. Now's the time to do it if you've been thinking about coaching, because it's 30% off. That's quite a lot. That saves you a lot of money. And remember that in August, if you buy a package, you also get a free self-study course worth £160. So it's a very good time to do it if you've been thinking about it. Okay, so what's the difference between avoidance and somebody not being interested in you? Okay, so with somebody who is avoidant, what they tend to do is come towards you, show interest, and then when it gets close, they pull away. And then often they'll come back and they'll show you an act of some kind of care, gesture, they'll check in, but then when it gets close, they pull back. And so that seems to be consistent with avoidance. They show you that they are interested. They sometimes come towards you, but then when it gets kind of close, or you talk about your feelings, they show discomfort. They can be defensive. They can shut down, and then they'll come back again when the dust has settled. So that's kind of the pattern with avoidance. With somebody who's not interested in you, they are consistently neutral. They're consistently not showing interest or effort. They're more likely to not come towards you. And if you were to bring up your feelings, they're more likely to show kind of indifference about it rather than discomfort. And that's the key difference, right? So if somebody is coming towards you, they're dipping in and out, they're there, then they're not there, they're more likely to have some kind of attachment patterning going on there with which has led them to avoidance. They find it uncomfortable to be with their emotions. They want the closeness, they want the connection, but they really struggle with that intimacy. And with somebody who is not interested in you, they're consistently low effort. They are consistently not the ones making plans. They are consistently indifferent about how you feel about things. And that feels horrible, especially if they showed you a bit of interest in the beginning. But when they kind of shut all that down, they start acting like they don't really care. That's when, they are not an aligned choice. It's not because they're thinking, oh, this person is awful and terrible and I can't believe this person is giving me any attention at all. That's not how it is. It's just that they have recognized within themselves that something's not quite aligned about this connection. And if you can take it like, okay, that's good information for me because it's not then aligned for me either, then you're going to have a better understanding and be able to take it less personally moving forward. That doesn't make it any easier because rejection sucks. And it's supposed to suck because we want that closeness. We want to create a unit. We want that safety. And it's a survival response for it to feel bad. For us to recognise that there's a problem so that we can find safety in another place. And most of all, you've got to be able to recognise within yourself when you're feeling unsafe. If somebody is pulling away, basically in either of these situations, if somebody is avoidant and they're in, they're out, they're in, they're out, or somebody is just not showing interest, neither of those situations are going to make you feel safe or wanted or chosen or important. both of them suck, right? But with avoidance, if there is some willingness from them to understand what's happening with them, if they are open to communication, if they're open to learning, if they're open to staying when it's difficult, then the relationship has a chance of evolving and becoming something even better. But if somebody is consistently not showing up, consistently not interested in doing the work, whether they're interested in you or not, it's not going to be able to progress. So this is where it kind of gets blurry for people, and you can get confused with the two, because avoidance can very much feel like they're not interested in you, but quite often they do. They see a lot in you. They see something that they really admire and like in you. They often love people, but they find the connection, the closeness, the intimacy just really overwhelming and really engulfing, and they feel like they're going to lose themselves. And until they actually address that emotional disruption that they feel with a therapist, with a coach, with somebody, they go round and round in circles and keep pulling away, and it keeps leaving you hurt. So you've kind of got to figure out, you don't actually have to figure out, you basically have to ask them, are you willing to work on this? And if they show interest in that, then that's good. And if they don't, then it's a sign for you that this isn't aligned at this time. You also can ask yourself the question, like, if this relationship and this dynamic didn't change at all as it is now, would I be okay with still being here in 5 years' time? Because the way that you're going to know if you'd be okay with it is basically if somebody is showing interest in growing with you. If somebody is showing interest in taking responsibility for their side of the street and yours, right? You've got to take responsibility for your side of the street too. So that's the thing that you've got to understand. And it might be early days, so sometimes that's a bit blurry too. But in time, these things will become clear, and you might be able to think, yeah, this person's really avoidant, or this person clearly is not really that interested in building a connection with me, and that's not good enough for me. Right? If somebody isn't interested in you, that's not what you want. That's not what you'd want for people in your life. That's not good enough for you. So it's the same. You know, you might feel sad about it. You might feel hurt or vulnerable in that situation, of course. But if somebody is not showing you the level of curiosity, of intrigue, of interest and openness with you, then that's not what you want. And you got to remember that, okay? Because it can feel very much like, no, they don't like me, there's something wrong with me. You know, that's not the case. But just to kind of clarify the two, avoidance, they show interest, they really like you, it's really good, and then they pull away. With someone who isn't interested, consistently low level, consistently poor effort, consistently indifferent, right? Although the nuance of that is that it might have been more at the beginning and then it kind of, flatlined. So there you go, that's the difference. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you'd like any support working through this, I've got 30% on my one-to-one coaching until the end of the month. You can get a free self-study course as well if you sign up now, worth £160. And I would love to meet you soon. Come to the Heartbreak Healers Club too, that's awesome. It's such a powerful group where, honestly, one of the clients in this group said there is no more powerful healing than community healing, and he is absolutely right. It is so powerful to work with, talk to people that are separate from your life. You can be completely open and honest with these people. It's not like they're going to go and tell someone that you know. So it's really nice to have that sounding board with other people from all over the world. So I'd love to see you in any of these things that I do. And if not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.